Everybody and their grandma's telling you that when the Fed cuts rates, crypto is going to go to the moon because they're going to print a lot of money. But what if I tell you crypto will crash when the Fed cuts rates? And I'll prove it to you today. Check this out. We've been through one cycle where Bitcoin was in a rate cutting cycle. And actually, in 2017, Bitcoin and crypto went up while the rates were going up, which with thesis that most people are thinking should not be true. And then right here is where they started cutting rates. And look at what Bitcoin did. As they cut rates slowly, Bitcoin went down slowly. And as they cut rates quickly, Bitcoin fell off of a cliff. And right around here, a lot of people started coughing. So this time around, Bitcoin's gone up. As the rates were going up, we are stabilized. When it drops, what do you think happens? Now, Bitcoin, we don't have very much data on. So let's even look at the NASDAQ, right? The NASDAQ is tech stocks. We can look back much further and see what tech stocks do. Because what tech stocks do is what the new technology stock, aka crypto, shall do. So, look at this. This was the 2000 rate cuts, right? This yellow line is Fed funds rate. Right here, they start cutting, and the market fell off of a cliff with the rates. Check. Right here in 2008, they started cutting, and the market went on a bit of a pump. So there's potential that in that drop, there could be a bit of a pump, depending on the macro situation. As they're cutting rates slowly, there's a bit of a pump, and then market follows down. And then as they cut rates quickly, market falls off of a cliff. Now, here they're reducing the rates because market's falling off of a cliff. That's when you want to make money cheap, okay? All right, well, the rates are going up, market's going up. Then they started cutting rates slowly right here. Market has a taper tantrum, as it's called, then goes off on a spike of a run, and then everybody starts coughing, and the rates fall off of a cliff, and the market falls off of a cliff. This time around, same thing. Market's gone up. Same story. We're at the top. They're probably going to start cutting rates. Now, if they slowly start cutting rates, which means everything's hunky-dory and they're just reducing the rates because everything looks great, then the market usually runs up. But when the economy is falling apart and there's some black swan event that happens, some crazy thing that happens, then the rates usually fall off of a cliff and the market falls off of a cliff, and we have a waterfall sell-off. And that's a waterfall you do not want to shower in. So what's going on today? The Japanese yen carry trade is unwinding. That trade is actually it's based on the spread between how much you can borrow in the Japanese yen and the high rates in the US. The moment you drop those rates, that trade becomes completely unprofitable, which means it unwinds even further. So about 50% already unwound a few days back. Great buying opportunity. If you bought that dip, you're a legend. I did. I could call myself a legend in this case. And the other 50% of that carry trade is going to unwind when they drop these rates. So that's going to be another flush. Now, in those times, people are not selling Bitcoin and crypto and all these assets because there's some fundamental reason. They're just selling them to cover their margin calls because they're about to lose all of their other assets. Okay, so it's not a logical sale. It's just a waterfall sale. Everything sells off all in one. So that's one thing. Secondly, the next panic could come from the junk bond market. It could come from the corporate debt markets. It could come from the corporate real estate markets. Or it could come from a black swan where somebody starts coughing again and there's some other thing happening. It could be a cyber event that's happening. Who knows? When that thing happens and the Japanese carry trade unwinds and the rates drop sharply, expect that at that moment, crypto isn't going to shoot off to the moon. For that moment, crypto is going to fall off of a cliff the same way it did during COVID. I would expect the same thing, that as we're seeing the rates drop, if it's a slow decline, crypto declines alongside, but more than likely it's going to be a fast decline and we get one of these insane drops in crypto. Now, is that a bad thing? No, because that's the last buying opportunity we have. On the other side is an insane amount of money printing that's going to happen. It also lines up with when the yield curve uninverts. every time in history the yield curve has uninverted, we've had a recession right after. These were more normal times. We had this is 2000 and then 2008. Now we're in this world where the last time the yield curve just barely dipped negative. And then when it popped its head back up, we had this spike of a recession called COVID, the word that we all shall not mention, he who shall not be named. This time around, the yield curve has been inverted for a very long period of time, the longest period of time we've ever seen. When it uninverts, I would expect another sharp recession, which lines up with all of these different things. And in the middle of that, expect crypto to fall off of a cliff. And now it just proved to you that most of the people that are telling you that crypto shoots off to the moon when the Fed drops rates is actually untrue. It goes to the moon after the Fed drops rates. But that is the best opportunity to buy. And if I was you, I would do whatever your strategy is. But if I was me, which I am, I would pile up a lot of cash on the side to get ready for the greatest buying opportunity coming up.